What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another RVA Vapes reviews, and today we're talking about the Switcher from Vaporesso. So now we're going to take an up-close look at the Switcher with the NRG tank from our friends at Vaporesso. As always, very nice sleeve packaging they've got here. It opens up like a book. On this side, you can see the little cable piece there. So you've got manuals, as well as your charge cable, somewhere in there. There it is. Whoop. So you've got the manual for the device in a bunch of different languages, and I believe the tank info is on here as well. Yeah, you can see right there it talks about the tank. So this is your manual for both pieces. And then they always have really nice kind of braided charge cable, which I like. And then your warranty card. Can't forget about that guy. And in here is the star of the show. So you got your 5mm NRG tank, your switcher mod device, and then a spare glass and an extra coil. And it comes with the GT4. And the GT8 comes pre-installed. And then this little card here is kind of cool. It tells you your different ramp-up modes, high, normal, soft, and then different coils. And it tells you what's the best or recommended and full range of wattage for all the different coils and power settings. So that's a cool feat. Cool little card there. So let's put this guy down. Now the reason they call this guy the switcher is because this colored housing actually comes off. So you could switch that out. Once you take the battery door, this whole piece comes off. Now this one, the blue and red, is a limited edition, which means it has this little LED panel here. With the red and blue edition, this is the limited edition, so it's got some lights in the inside, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So once we put the batteries in, new load, minus, plus. So we're going to hit plus, so new coil there. We'll go ahead and take the tank off for the demonstration so we don't burn out that coil. So, you got your fire button, negative, mode, and plus button. So obviously the plus and the minus do your wattage up and down. The fire button fires the tank or the device. The new feature is this mode button. With 3 clicks, you go directly into your menu. So you've got your variable wattage, high, normal, soft, which is your ramp up, your CCW, which is your controlled curve wattage. Set that this way. This is to set it. So you want to set it up like this. Set the first one at, we'll say 90. Then you hit fire button, jumps you over to the next setting or the next time frame. Set that one at 88, jump over to the next one, 80, 80, 80, and you can run this all the way out for 5 seconds. Once you got it set, you just hit the mode button, and there you are in CCW. 1, 2, 3 on the mode button gets you back to your menu options. Then you got variable temperature with stainless steel, nickel, titanium. Then you got TCR mode, which has got memory settings for 2 different places, a bypass mode, and then the system settings will give you your time for the clock, brightness of the screen, puff counter, smart on off, and the screen timeout, the light. Now this is one that you're going to have only on the special edition. So we hit that, and you can see as you scroll through the options here, you've got light on or off. So we'll open that up, turn the light on. So with your red breathing, you can see it's kind of a red pulse LED, and everywhere you can see that white is where you'll see the light at. And then the green breathing is the same kind of pulsing action you can see there, just with green. blue breathing, obviously pulse blue. And this is where it gets a little interesting, flashing lights. So this is kind of like a rotation flashing through the different colors that it has on there. And then custom. Now if you hit the select button, you can pick your color. So let's say I like blue. Mode, which is going to be breathing, flashing, or always on. And then startup. Do you want it to be when I hit the fire button or always on? Let's do always on. And then number 3 is exit. Or 4, sorry. And then number 7 is show mode. Brings you back here. Now versions is just going to have your firmware version on it. So that's just to check that out. And then default's like a factory reset. In the smart mode, you can see based on the resistance of the coil, 0.18 right there, it automatically picks 55 watts. Now the tank, the NRG tank, we haven't really talked about, but it's essentially a Baby B style platform. You've got nice big juice flow holes down there at the bottom, or airflow holes down there at the bottom, and then you've got this swing top deal to fill it up, a little bit different than the TF V8s, but not super different. Other than that, it's a 5 mil tank. It performs very well. It's got good flavor, good vapor production, and can certainly handle everything this switcher 220 watt mod can throw at it. This one does have kind of like a blued finish to match with a little bit of like red purple accenting, so it does match the casing very well. Alright, so now that you've got a look at it a little bit closer, saw how the menu and everything works, what we're going to do now is get a little bit of info on this guy. So the first part of it is the NRG tank, which is not a new device, but they have made a couple of little revisions to it. It's 56 millimeters this way, 24.5 across, and you can see it's got some really nice airflow slots down in there, so it's definitely a little bit more airy than like your Baby Beast or any of the other like Joytech and Geek Vape tanks that run the Baby Beast style coils. For size comparison, there it is against the Fireluke Mesh. It's roughly about the same width, maybe like a half a millimeter wider, and slightly taller, but it is a 5 milliliter juice capacity, so that's part of the reason it's taller. The other big change they've made with this version, as you can see, they took that honeycomb out of the drip tip, so you don't have the spitback protection with it, but it does give you just a slight bit more of that airflow through the tank. And you can see this one's got a cool blued kind of finish to match with the red and blue switcher mod. So let's talk about the mod itself. It's got the Omni chip, but this is version 2.6. It's got the new user interface that I showed you in the up close, but it's got a couple other things that we want to talk about. First of all, it's a 220 max power. It is 53 millimeter by 89 millimeter and then 31 millimeter this way, so you should be able to fit a 30 mil Addy on there without any overhang. Smart thinking. It's got a 0.96 inch OLED screen on it. It does temperature control. It fires down to 0.5, and the casing is actually made out of a zinc alloy, so it's got a nice sturdy casing to it. And it does do 100 to 315 Fahrenheit in the temperature control, for those of you that are wondering. The reason they call it the switcher is because this metal casing actually comes completely off all the way. So you can buy the separate casings for it like this if you want to switch up the colors or whatever, and you get a little bit better look at that LED. It looks like the lights are coming from up here and shining down through this, whitish, meshish kind of material, but it does have a plastic casing on it, so that's kind of a cool add. Still without the zinc alloy shield or plate, whatever you want to call this. It's still got some good weight to it, but adding that extra layer of zinc alloy protection in my opinion, definitely gives it a much sturdier feel and build quality. So let's talk about this interface a little bit more. As you look at it, you can see the battery light up here, all your voltage and resistance there. You got your wattage, obviously, little puff counter down at the bottom, and that's your time right there. Another feature that I found is kind of cool, if you 3-click 1, 2, 3, you see that little bam, you see the little lock right there? That's for your up and down, for your power, so your settings are locked in. So that's kind of cool. 1, 2, 3 again, opens it back up. The other thing you notice is when I'm adjusting my wattage, you can see it actually shows up on the screen there. They're calling that a virtual button. Not sure exactly what that means, but I guess just to give you a little bit better representation of what you're doing, a little bit more information. They do highlight the 510 on this guy, which it is a nicer 510 than I've seen. It's got a nice little engraving on it there. They're calling it a masculine 510 connection. You can also see that pin right there is a little bit wider. You know, overall, I've been really happy with the build quality on this guy. So every little detail like that seems to be extremely well done, which I wouldn't expect anything less from Vaporesso, but it seems like they even took it up another notch from what they normally do. You've got your controlled, your CCW, which is your controlled current wattage. That allows you to set your you know, ramp up, ramp down, your power curve exactly how you want it, which I love. You know, we showed you the 5-click on off, we showed you the 3-click lock, we showed you how to get into the menu settings. When you put on the tank, the first thing it asks you is old coil, new coil. Does up to 220 watts. It's also got all the normal, you know, reverse battery protection, power protection, overvolt, and they do claim that it's got a balance charger built into it. I don't necessarily believe that I would use it on a regular basis, but it is a key feature they're including in their spec sheet. So just wanted to throw that out there. And they do have their coil options, GT2, which is like the one big hole with the parallel coils, the GT4, which is similar to your X4s where you got like the double barrel style, GT6, which is like your T6 with your 3 holes paralleled, and then the GT8, which is what it comes with. I think it comes with the 4 and the 8 if I'm not mistaken. So they also have a C-cell ceramic because they're known for their ceramic stuff. I haven't personally tested that ceramic one. I've talked to a couple people that have used them. Very mixed reviews on that, so I don't think I would really mess with that too much. But if you like the ceramic, they do have an option for that, so that's cool. So the kit itself, it comes with the mod, your 2 coils, your GT4, your GT8, all the manuals, replacement glass for the tank, and the nice USB charge cable that I showed you earlier. So very nice packaging, very well done, put together. We know about the NRG tank, that's not new, so I'm not going to spend a ton of time on that. I really just want to talk about the, you know, improvements with this versus the Revenger, because that's kind of what I've compared it to. Really, the biggest improvement is the UI. The user interface is so much easier to use. And, you know, we went over that in the up close, but I just want to really commend them on the job they did, because the Omni board has been a solid chip. You know, it won Chip of the Year, and the chip itself is extremely efficient, extremely accurate, and it's got a ton of features. The biggest problem with the Revenger was the fact that it was impossible to figure out how to use it for most people. I mean, even myself that's messed with it for a year, or messed with that Omni board for a while, had trouble explaining it to customers because it's so detailed and so much stuff that I would just forget this, that, or the other, and then trying to explain it to them, I'd be like, is it 3 clicks or is it 5 clicks? Is it a long press? Is it a short press? It's just very complicated to maneuver through. And really the biggest change with this one is that user interface. It's so much easier. You just tap that middle button, 1, 2, 3, and you're right there. You got all your menu options right there. And then you go down to the system setting, which is the bottom box there on your left hand side, and hit that, and that's all your system settings for time, brightness, puff counter, smart mode, screen timeout, the lights that are built into the side of this guy, and your firmware, hardware versions, manufacturer reset, and that's it. It's super simple. So well done, Vaporesso. You finally did it to the point where people that are not extremely experienced can take advantage of all the features that you have, and I really like that. As always, the Omni board, super good ramp up, super accurate chip reading. The control current or the power curve setting works really well. I haven't tested thoroughly any of the temperature control stuff, but it seems to work fairly well if you're into that. You know, I can't really find anything bad to say about it. The lights are a little gaudy in my opinion, but everybody's doing the lights, so if you want something that lights up, they've got it for you. If you just want a good solid mod, get the regular version and you don't have to worry about these lights. The battery door seems to be nice. You can see it's got this big lip on the back of it there, and that clips in like that. I will tell you that if you're holding it upside down to remove the batteries, this tends to be a little slidey. It does have kind of a locking point, so it's not necessarily going to fall completely, but if you know, twist it or chuck it or, you know, sling it like that, it can potentially pop off. But you can see the little lip right there on the battery door clips right in here, so you're holding the whole thing together with that back part. So it's a nice designed bottom switch. There's your new or your old coil. You got an old coil on this guy, which is almost toasted, honestly. But you know, the long and the short of it, if you want a nice quality mod that's got all the features you could ever possibly want and has top-notch build quality with this new added metal piece to it, and it's even got like a little grippy thing going on there, that black kind of, it almost looks like KT tape, if you will, because it's like grippy like that. This is it. You know, it's a great price point, solid build quality, one of the best chips on the market, does everything under the sun. If there's a feature that you want, chances are this mod has it. Make sure you stop by our store, or if you're somewhere out there in the ether, shop.rvavapes.com. They do have different color options, and I'm going to throw those up right meow. And you can see the 6 colors that are now available. 3 of them with the lights, 3 of them without the lights. And we also have the coupon code that's going to be right here. You can get you one of these for 10% off with this coupon code. And I believe it does come with free shipping as well, so that's an even bigger bonus. As always, we thank you for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to our channel and click the little bell so that you can get all of our notifications and updates. We drop these new reviews every Saturday, so you got something to watch over the weekend. And if you want to smoke, that's your business. If you don't, you know what to do.